Hello students, today I am going to start the second part of the chapter Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela for class 10. Okay. In the previous part we have already studied that a new government was set in South Africa, and that was a first non-racial government, and Nelson Mandela, a black leader, was made the first president or first black president of South Africa. We have also studied that before that there was a racial government and blacks were not given any opportunity. They were exploited and punished by the white people ruling there. But it was very first time that a new government, a non-racial government was set. We have also studied that his inauguration ceremony was grand. People from all over the world, means leaders, then politicians, then dignitaries, they have all arrived to witness his ceremony. Then we have also studied that there was display of jets in the sky which show the unity of the country, where black and white are now no longer enemies but they are united. Okay, so now the next part and next point. The next point is the sense of history. The sense of history. Actually, Nelson Mandela was overwhelmed with a sense of history. A few years after the Anglo-Boer War, apartheid was introduced in South Africa. Now, the society based on racial discrimination was the most inhumane society in the world. Now, a new system based on equality of all men regardless of their color and race has replaced the old and cruel system of the whites. Okay, the next point is the policy of apartheid. The policy of apartheid. This is actually the system where, what system? System of discrimination. Okay, apartheid, a system of discrimination on the basis of their color. So apartheid created a deep and you can say long-lasting wound in the people of South Africa, or you can say all over the world. The decades of exploitation and oppression of the black produced heroes like Tambo and Sisyphus and others also. These black heroes were men of extraordinary courage, you can say, and wisdom. Courage, wisdom and generosity. The greatest wealth of South Africa was not in minerals or not in diamonds, it was in men of such great character. Okay, the next point is the struggle of comrades, companion, you can see. Now, Nelson Mandela, he learned the meaning of courage from such great means, you can say Tambo, Sisyphus and all those black heroes. He had learned what? Courage from brave leaders. Okay, brave black leaders, you can say. Courage is victory over fear. Everyone is afraid. In South Africa, everyone was afraid of the means black people were afraid of the white. So it gave courage. The black heroes gave courage to Nelson Mandela even. These comrades actually were ready to risk their life and sacrifice their life for the sake of freedom of their own men, and the idea of freedom. Okay, freedom and equality, you can say. Even in the darkest prisons, their hopes of these black leaders and faith were not broken. Okay, so this is where you can understand about the struggle of comrades. The next point is twin responsibility. Twin responsibility means two responsibility actually. Okay, Nelson Mandela thought that every man has twin obligation. He has a duty towards his wife and children, as well as he has obligations towards his country and the people living in that country. Okay, and in South Africa, in countries like South Africa, it was impossible for a man, a black actually, like him to fulfill both these obligations. If any black tried to live like a free human being, he was punished. He was punished severely and was isolated. He was forced to live a life of rebellion and you can say secrecy. Okay. Next point is joining the African National Congress. The African National Congress. Now, Mandela realized that not only was he deprived of freedom, but his brothers and sisters were also deprived of the so-called freedom. Okay. That is why he joined the African National Congress. This was actually his purpose. Okay, so that he can liberate the other blacks. It was his desire for the freedom of his people and their self-respect, you can say, that totally transformed him from a weak man to a strong one. Okay, and from a lawyer who followed law to an outlaw, means who neglected law at all. Actually, he wanted to fight for the freedom of his brothers and sisters, means the black people. He knew that the oppressed must be liberated, and the oppressed as well as the oppressors both are robbed of their humanity and both of them must be liberated. This was what was in his mind, and that is why he set a non-racial government. So this is where the chapter ends.